Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic that is general characteristics of compounds of alkali metals. Generally, when we see the compounds of alkali metals, the bond present between the alkali metal and the other element is mostly ionic in bond. So that's why that compounds are said to be ionic in nature. So the very important compounds of alkali metals are oxides and hydroxides. We have already discussed in the chemical properties, whenever alkali metal is react with oxygen, it forms three types of oxides. They are monoxides, peroxides and superoxides. In monoxides, oxygen is in the form of O-2. In peroxides, the oxygen is in the form of O2-2. In superoxides, it is in the form of O2-. Does all alkali metals are form all these three types of oxides? No. Generally, the monoxides are formed by lithium. Peroxides are formed by only sodium. Superoxides are formed by the rest of the elements potassium, rubidium, cesium. When we are observe the properties of monoxides, generally these are colorless and diamagnetic in nature. We have already discussed in the chemical bonding and molecular orbital theory, oxygen O-2. This is said to be diamagnetic in nature. And whenever these oxides are dissolved in water, they are formed the hydroxides. That is clearly indicates they are said to be basic in nature. So these two are the properties of monoxides. When we see the properties of peroxides and superoxides, generally superoxides are paramagnetic, peroxides are diamagnetic. When these are react with water, they are producing the H2O2 and hydroxides. These are widely used as oxidizing agent in inorganic chemistry. Because oxidizing agent means it should be undergo reduction. Reduction means gaining of electron. Gaining of electrons are decreases the for further decrease the oxidation number. Whether in peroxides or superoxides, the oxidation number is -1 and minus of respectively. That might be reduced to the -2. It is possible to convert the peroxide to monoxide, superoxide to monoxide. That is clearly indicates it is possible by only the reduction. Whichever it is undergo reduction, that is called oxidizing agent. That's why these peroxides and superoxides are used as oxidizing agents in inorganic chemistry. The another important compounds of alkali metals is hydroxides. So how do you prepare these hydroxides? Generally these hydroxides are prepared by dissolving the alkali metal in water, or their oxides also by dissolving in water, we are getting these hydroxides. For example, let us see here, the sodium is on reaction with water, we get sodium hydroxide, or the oxide of sodium, that is react with water to form the sodium hydroxide. When we are observing these hydroxides are generally seems to be white crystalline solids, and the presence of the OH group, generally what we say that it is responsible for the basic nature of that compound. That's why all the hydroxides of alkali metals are strong basic in nature. As we move down the group, the basicity character increases. The CSOH, cesium hydroxide, is more basic in nature. Lithium hydroxide is less basic in nature. This is about the hydroxides and their properties. Next, another important compound of alkali metals is halides. So generally the alkali metals are formed, halides of having the general formula Mx, where M is equal to alkali metal, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium or cesium. X is equal to halogen. Generally the halogens are represented with the capital X. So halogens means fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So these are forming the Mx type of halides. So how do you prepare these halides? These halides are prepared by reacting oxides or hydroxides or carbonates of alkali metals with hydrogen halide. Whenever oxides or hydroxides or carbonates of alkali metals on reaction with the hydrogen halide, we are getting the alkali metal halides. That reactions are given here. In the first reaction, oxide of metal is reacted with hydrogen halide, we get Mx. Or we may also use hydroxides, MOH is on reaction with hydrogen halide, we are getting the Mx halide. Or the carbonate of alkali metal is also on reaction with the hydrogen halide, we are getting the metal halides. So that means these alkali metal halides are formed by reaction between hydrogen halide and metal oxide or metal hydroxide or metal carbonates of group 1. So when we are observing the properties of these metal halides, generally these are colorless crystalline solids having the high melting points. When these halides are formed, more amount of energy is liberated. For example, if the sodium chloride is there, sodium and chlorine is combining together to form sodium chloride. This is we learn in the thermodynamics, how to write the enthalpy of formation. So whenever these halides are formed, generally energy is liberated. Halides means here fluorides are there, chlorides are there, bromides are there, iodides are there. Any one halide is formed by combining with this alkali metal, energy is liberated. But here the two important points we need to be remembered. For example, in the case of fluorides, that means all alkali metals combined with fluorine to form metal fluorides. That means lithium fluoride, sodium fluoride, potassium fluoride, rubidium fluoride, cesium fluoride. When we are observing the amount of energy is liberated in these respective metal fluorides, more amount of energy is liberated in the case of cesium fluoride, less amount of energy is liberated in the case of lithium fluoride. But when we are observing in the case of chlorides, bromides or iodides, the amount of energy is liberated is decreases. That means suppose chlorides are, let us take lithium chloride to sodium chloride, sodium chloride to potassium chloride, potassium chloride to rubidium chloride, rubidium to cesium chloride. The amount of energy is liberated during the formation of chlorides or bromides or iodides is decreases. But whereas in the case of fluorides, the amount of energy is liberated is increases from lithium fluoride to cesium fluoride. So this is the point we need to be remembered. So this is an exceptional case is there in the case of halides. So other some important properties of these halides. When we are observing the halides of alkali metals, the fluorides of alkali metals are more stable, while iodides of alkali metals are least stable. When we are observing the melting points and boiling points of these alkali metals, halides, the fluorides are always said to be having the more melting point and boiling point. Iodides are possessing the less melting points and boiling points. The order of melting point and boiling points of different halides is fluorides is greater than, chlorides is greater than, bromide is greater than iodide. And for a given halide ion, that means, for example, if let us take fluoride or chloride or bromide or iodide, let us take any one of the halide, then how the melting point and boiling points are varies. Simply, from lithium halide to sodium halide, the melting points and boiling points are increases. After that, sodium to potassium, potassium to rubidium, rubidium to cesium, the melting points and boiling points of alkali metal halides are decreases. Lithium to sodium increases, sodium to cesium decreases. That means which is possess the more melting point and boiling point of a given halide ion? Sodium. So this is the only exception. There is a one exception was there in the case of the potassium iodide. There is a slight variation is there, but in rest of the series, in all the cases, the halide of sodium is always possessing the more melting point and boiling points. So that is the point we need to be remember. Here two important points. Among the halides, which is possess the more melting points and boiling points means generally we can say fluorides. For a given halide, which is more possess the melting point and boiling point means the sodium alkali metal halides is possessing the high melting point and boiling point, except in case of iodides. In case of iodides, potassium iodide is possessing the more melting point. That is the two important points we need to be remember here. And when we see their solubility, generally the alkali metals halides are ionic in nature, so that what we are expected generally when they are ionic in nature, they are soluble in waters. But we have studied it very clearly in the last classes. The compounds of lithium are somewhat covalent in nature. So that's why they are somewhat less soluble in water. So that's why he was given one statement. All alkali metal halides are soluble in water with the exception of lithium fluoride. Because in case of lithium fluoride, the bond present between the lithium and fluoride is required the more amount of energy, because smaller cation and smaller anion is there, so they are strongly attracted together, so that we require the more amount of energy. It is not easy to break the attraction present between lithium and fluorine, so that's why generally these are insoluble in water. So when we see this cesium iodide has low solubility, so due to the smaller hydration of two ions, because both are larger in size is corresponds to the smaller hydration energy. That smaller hydration energy is not sufficient to break the attraction between the cesium and iodine. That's why these are having the low solubility. And other halides, not lithium fluoride, lithium chloride or lithium bromide or lithium iodide, generally these are soluble in non-polar solvents like ethanol, acetone and ethyl acetate. So this is about the preparation methods and properties of alkali metal halides. And the third important compounds of alkali metals, that is salts of oxo acids. First, what do you mean by oxo acids? These are commonly, we are listening the term in coming chemistry of different groups. Oxo acids are those in which the acidic proton is on hydroxyl group with an oxo group is attached to the same atom. Oxo means C double bond O. To this C double bond O, if OH group is attached, okay, then that is called oxo acids. Oxo acids are those in which acidic proton. This whenever, so it is dissolved in water, it will be dissociated and give this proton O minus and H plus. And this OH group is attached to the oxo group. C double bond O is oxo group. That type of compounds are called oxo acids. Here carbonic acid, sulfuric acid, phosphoric acid, all these are the examples of oxo acids. So whenever this alkali metal is react with oxo acids, we are get the salts of oxo acids. So that means like sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate. So all these are called the salts of oxo acid, sodium sulfate, sodium phosphate, potassium phosphate, potassium sulfate, potassium carbonate. Like all these are called the alkali metal salts of oxo acids. So generally whenever we are observing these salts of oxo acids of alkali metals, all are soluble in water and thermally stable. We have already discussed in the previous classes also. Carbonates and bicarbonates of alkali metals are highly stable to eat, because as we go down the group, the electropositive character is increases. So when the electropositive character is increases between, then alkali metal and the carbonates or bicarbonates, they are strongly attracted together. So that's why it is not easy to decompose. That's why they are highly stable. That's why we can give one statement: as we go down the group, the carbonates and bicarbonates stability is increases. And when we are observing the lithium carbonate, so this is not so stable. It is easily undergo decomposition and to form the monooxides, that is lithium oxide. We have already known the lithium bicarbonate does not exist as a solid, but whereas other carbonates except lithium, just on gentle heating they can undergo decomposition to form the carbonates with the evolution of carbon dioxide. So that means when bicarbonates are decomposed of alkali metals except lithium, they can form the carbonates of that alkali metals, and this stability of the carbonates and bicarbonates are generally increases down the group. This is about the salts of oxo acids. So totally we are discussing some important compounds: oxides, hydroxides, halides, and finally salts of oxo acids of alkali metals. This is about the syllabus which is included in our alkaline metals. In the next class we will discuss the one more group, that is group 2 elements that are also called as alkaline earth metals. The chemistry of alkaline earth metals we will discuss in the coming classes. Thank you.